Yes. So I've grown my outreach in the Chicagoland area. That's why I can't move out of from Chicago, because I've grown enough tentacles here. I'm tied into a lot of stuff. I'm tied in with a lot of dealership, trucking companies, body shop, mechanic shops, other car rental owners, businessmen, people that do, not on the high level, but on the level where I'm at or a little bit higher. So it doesn't make sense for me to just up and move to a different city. Like one time, my uncle, he's a billionaire. He lives out in Las Vegas. He owns the Las Vegas Pen Institute. If you look him up, he was a guy that he was on the news one time in the United States. So he invited me to come out to Vegas and do something with him, but I wasn't in the right mindset. Then I was like a bottom level hustler. I was trying to come up so hard. I was working real hard to get somewhere. I not only have value to add, but I know how to articulate myself on what I want. You know what I mean? Because sometimes that sells you short when you don't know how to talk about or talk constructively what it is people can help you with. Right. Because sometimes people want to help you, but they don't know how to help you. You know what I mean? Like the guys that showed up trying to give you food, like they don't know that's not what you want. You see, they're trying to help you in a way that you don't want to be helped. They could have brought you some cigars. That would help. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? So that's the problem we have. A lot of people trying to help people in the ways that would not benefit them. So, and they will swear they were helping you out. They'll be like, oh man, one of them probably go home telling a story. Man, I saw this one white guy. He was just down and bad and out. I offered him food, but for some reason, maybe he just ate a few minutes ago. He just rejected the food. You know what I mean? That makes for a great story. It's just Chicago. You know what I mean? Like, this city is such a funny place. You really cannot tell who's down bad and from who's, because there's some homeless people that are well dressed, and there's some down bad people that are, like there's some, people that are doing well that look homeless. So, and not only that, they're just trying to blend in. Like there's some people that they got it, they don't feel the need to look the part. They just they're used to a certain habit. Like if you go to, like, say, I'll use Silicon Valley as an example. People like Mike Zuckerberg, they grew up just knowing to wear sweatshirts, hoodies, and just look rough. So even as they even grew in their billions, they still, their default setting is the same thing. That T-shirt with jogging pants and sneakers. So the only difference now is that the sneakers is Gucci, the tracksuit is Louis Vuitton. You know what I mean? The T-shirt maybe is like $1,000 T-shirt, and they have a Rolex watch, or maybe a Patek Philippe or something like that. That's just about it. But for the most part, they're still the same person. You know what I mean? And they still haven't understood that it's okay to be rich now. It's okay. You go enjoy yourself. And society does not encourage men to do that. They encourage you, once you have money, go take care of a woman. Go get a child. Go get a family. You know what I mean? Go help other people. No, don't enjoy yourself. That's not what real men do. Real men go get a single mother and take care of her and her kids, or go get a woman, get her pregnant, have kids, and make sure that they're living la vida loca. But nobody, think about it. Ever since you were born, have someone ever told you what you're supposed to do for yourself once you succeed? Once they get to the story about the part where you succeed, they default to jump into you helping other people. It's always that way. Yep. That's the default setting. They just, once you finally make the money, you become a billionaire, you go get married, you get a kid, you get this and stuff. You make sure the college trust fund is good. They never tell you about the part where you get a 911 GT3 RS. They never tell you that part. They never tell you the part where you get a private jet. They never tell you the part where you travel the world. They never tell you the part where you make friends in high places, or the men of valuable, that have valued skills and stuff. They never tell you those things. They never tell you to congregate with other men that know what they're doing in life, that are well accomplished, how to build network, go to conferences, build friendship. They never tell you this stuff. They just tell you, no, you've done enough.
Where was this conference you went to?
Oh, it was in Arizona.
It sucks to come back here. Huh?
Oh man, Arizona was beautiful, man. I enjoyed every part of it. I went to the strip club. That was every city I go to, I try to see the women. You know what I mean? I went downtown, I walked around. When I was tired of walking around, I went to the game. The Phoenix Suns were playing. I went to the bars. The thing about Arizona is this: like, Arizona is like a clique because it's not as big as Chicago. So when you go down, most people know each other, and it's like they can smell it that you're not from there. So because of that, they're very snobby. They would ignore you. You can say, hey, good afternoon, like in Chicago here, where people exchange like pleasantries, even though Chicago is a very rough place and highly segregated. But people, you walk past your neighbor, like even sometimes when I'm on Marine Drive, and maybe I have some cars that are going out for rent, people would still say, hey, good morning. Arizona, nothing like that. Yeah. People just breeze past you.
There's a few people that talk around here. That's what I told my wife. I said, there's just very few people that socialize around here. I don't know if it's, I don't know what it is.
It's just like New York. Chicago is becoming the new New York. Everybody's so busy with their lives. People are broke. You know, and that's another thing I try to teach the young men that I mentor. I told them, listen, do whatever you can. You have a race to $100,000. Once you get to $100,000 as a young man, life gets significantly less complicated and more simplistic, and you could do a lot of things relaxed. At 100 grand, it's easy for you to make more money.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. Building that wealth.
And they listen to me. I remember one of my mentees. He was talking to me about going to school to study criminal justice. I was like, what are you going to do with that degree? What is criminal justice? You have a skill as a body man. You could fix cars, you could paint cars, you could repair cars, you could change an engine. Your brother could do the same. Why don't you guys congregate, invest some money into the garage of your home, and just go all out? Why do you want to go get in debt just to make $60K a year? Even if.
Yeah. And
then after taxes, man, you know, like, there has to be a class on American history, not the slave part, the business part. Because you see, I think a lot of people are very uncomfortable talking about race, and that's one disadvantage. And that's one disadvantage, and that's one catch-22 that we sold to the American public that they believe in. There's nothing wrong with talking about race. The question is, the more you engage it, the more comfortable everybody is, because now you understand the rules of engagement. A lot of people don't understand the rules of engagement. The average white person thinks they're going to offend a black person. The average black person thinks that it's not a black or white person's business to meddle in race. I don't think so. I think the more we talk, the more we understand each other.
Unless you believe in what your parents believe. Yeah. I think that's a lot of the problem in today's society. I don't care if you're white, black, yellow, green. If you got to ditch your parents' beliefs and come up with your own. You have to
not just ditch it, but look at their beliefs and see what doesn't work anymore. Because there's definitely something that doesn't work anymore. You know, because if we believe exactly what our parents believe, we'll still live in the cave. Someone said, no, living in this cave, this ain't it. There's got to be something better. Then they built a stone house.
Yeah.
Then someone is like, man, this stone house is too cold during the wintertime. But let's use mud. Let's put tack. Let's do this, you know? And the world started to advance towards something. And then after that, some guy fell in love with a woman and promised her, you know what? Everybody has a one-story building. I'm going to put a room on top just to prove my love to you. You know what I mean? Because I always say this to a lot of young guys, right? If you take women and put them to the side, most men will be at a beach in Jamaica eating mangoes and then watch the sunset rise and then play with dolphins and then go back to sleep.
Yeah.
Men don't have that need to own so much. I mean, maybe there were sports cars. Yeah, they'll buy a couple. You know what I mean? But there's not much. And even the sports cars, men buy to impress women for the most part. You know what I mean? They buy to look impressive, to have an impressive story about them. You know what I mean? So, you know,
I almost accepted a job in Puerto Rico before I came here. I wish I would have done it and not listened to my parents and her parents. Because her parents and my parents were just like, you can't go that far away. You can't. They don't like the fact that I'm up here. You know, but it was that way when I moved up to Cincinnati. They were.
Let me tell you something I've learned, right? The best thing I ever did in my life was stop listening to my dad when I turned 24.
Yeah.
The second best thing I ever did in my life was stop listening to my mom when I turned 13.
True.
It made me the man that I am, because I think the problem with a lot of young men today is that they have the inability to be weaned off from their parents. That umbilical cord is still connected. So you say something about their mom, that's why people start fights. And then they lose their life. And then you ask yourself, while you're dead, was it really worth it? Like, could he just insult my mom that one time and just get away with it? You know what I mean? Like, you know? You see, these things bring men to the table of consideration where you can live your life based on calculation. You have to calculate, like, look around you, read the room, and be like, this is not worth it, man. You know, like, yeah. You know what I mean? And that's why I really believe in that saying, like, men should vote with their feet and their wallet. When you see danger, and the danger is, just walk away. Walk away. You know?
Yep.
I remember one time asking a young lady, she was asking for marriage, and I asked her, why do you want me? Why you offering me such a bad deal? That was my question to her. Why do you offer me such a bad deal? If I was your son, would you marry yourself? And nobody ever asked her the question in this manner before. And she was blown away. I asked her, like, if you were a girl and I was your son, would you encourage me to marry you?
We see where that ended up.
No. She stuck around, but I kept living my life. I live my life like I'm single. You know what I mean? Like, I am single. Because I don't care who I'm with. I don't care if, I think that, and that's another thing in society today. A lot of men like pedestalize women above their pay grade, and that's just detrimental to society. Because not every, like I already told you earlier, like most women are underwhelming in the tune of 60 to 70%. They're just regular people, and they need a lot of help. They need makeup, they need hair, they need nails, they need a lot of fake stuff to even come close to as confident as a man would naked. You know what I mean?
No, that's true.
Shit. Most men are more comfortable in a sauna with other men, just relaxing and having a peaceful time than in their own homes.
Yeah, if you're that's the problem. If you can't find a woman that gets you that, then yep. Higgins again.
Huh?
Burrow and Higgins are an unstoppable pair.
I never knew the joy of being a man till I worked 80 hours in a week. Just the joy of working so hard and getting so much in return for the hours put in. If any man says there's something more gratifying, they're a liar. The richest man in the world, he even stated that the gratification at its maximum for a man is value of work for every time put in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're a man, you put in 1 hour a week, and you don't produce anything, and you get paid $1 million. The guy that puts in 80 hours a week and gets paid 500 is more gratified than that person.
I agree with that.
Because that's where men derive their joy and value. They feel like the world is working with them, not against them. You know what I mean? You feel like you're making something happen. You know. Is that the guy that used to be with the Chicago Bears?
No,
Love. No, right?
No, he's been with Pittsburgh for years. Oh, okay.
Do you know how to blow O's?
I could.
That was something I studied and I learned how to do. Because I used to, when I was a kid, I used to watch like Tom and Jerry, and you had the fat cat that would,
Tom and Jerry. We were just talking about that this week with my guys.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, that's funny.
And now that show is on Netflix. And I went back to try to watch it and think I would enjoy it as much as I did. No,
you can't.
It's packed. That was not cartoon for kids. It's like that's adult stuff that we're talking about.
There's a lot of cartoons.
Oh my! You see that they're packed with red pill like ideology and stuff like that. They're just so.
It's been around for years.
It's been around for years, man. They just tackle the truth head on. You know what I mean? And that's why they can't show those cartoons anymore to kids. You know what I mean?
Or put Teletubbies out there, or the Goofy.
Yeah.
The no nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
So what inspires you to buy another car or to grow? What gets you to what keeps you now from going to another car, or is it a certain level car that you're looking at? Because you're not buying and renting Dodge Neon.
Well, I'm way past Dodge Neon. They don't even make them anymore. But
Right.
what? First of all, answer the first question. You say what pushes me to buy another car is uh, how much financial leeway I have. Um, like for example, a family friend of mine came and bought one of my Priuses, 2016. They paid me $10,000. Most of that money went towards acquiring two more cars. So I have a fear in me of, I know what it felt like being broke, like really broke. And when I say broke, I mean under $50,000 you're broke, like so. When I was there, life was very difficult. I remember some days I had to make a dish with $20. I had $20 to go to the grocery store. And let me say this, right? This is a sidebar. If you want to succeed in life, based on my experience, you need to have a period of your life where you sit in your thoughts. You're not doing anything. You're not running helter skelter. You just ask yourself an honest question. I call it come to the altar moment, right? You have to sit down, not do anything. Ask yourself, what do I want to do with my life? How do I want my future to play out? What On the day I close my eyes for the last time, what do I want to have left on earth? If you don't have that time, most men that don't have that time never succeed. You see what I'm saying? Because they don't. Most people are busy just working, going to work, coming home, sleeping, going out to the clubs and hanging out with friends. They never have the time to themselves to really ask themselves some very personal and serious questions that lets them know that they're on their own in this world. Like I always tell the guys that I mentor, one person that is more important, I would even argue more than your family, is somebody that sees your dream and buys into it. Someone that believes in you, that says, you know what, I believe you can do that. Here's how you can do it. How can I help? Is there anything you need? That person is more valuable. You know what I'm saying? Because think about it this way. If you didn't have money, could you run a family? Less than likely. You know what I mean? Most women wouldn't even stay around, especially most modern American women. They set a standard. In most cases, more than 70% are unrealistic. You know, they set a standard and say, this is the bar for the man that I want. 70K and up, 100K and up, 150K and up. He has to have a ability to buy a house, good credit, this, that, on his own car. They litter it with all these needles. But they don't know the statistics. They don't know how many men
are at 35K.
No. They don't know how many men meet this criteria. And it's so much more true in the black community. Most people in the black community don't know statistics. I'm telling you this as a member of black. They don't know stats. They don't care about stats. And that's why they operate blindly. The black men know about stats because why? There's a burden to perform. You know what I mean? He knows that if he's broke, he's not going to get no pussy. He knows that if he's broke, he can't travel. He knows that if he's broke, he can't get that Hummer, Escalade, whatever it is that tickles your fancy, the Porsche, whatever it is that you want. He knows that if he's broke, private jet flights are not free. He knows that if he's broke, first class seats are not free. He knows if he's broke, he can't get like a black card, American Express, whatever it is that you want. You cannot get these things broke. With that said, I have to do something. That comes to the ultimate moment. I have to do something to get to my goal. Because most people will not entertain me. Even these days, men are not entertaining other broke men. That's how far this cancer has spread. I'm telling you, I have a hard time getting other black men together so that we could just talk about money and see where it would lead. When I tell them, let's get together, what they hear is you want to put money together to start a business. And I'm like, that's not what I'm saying. Look at you and I here right now. What is it costing us, really?
Nope, it's a little
Compared to your income, this cigar is very insignificant. The parking ticket is insignificant. Whatever gas or whatever maintenance that my truck outside ran coming here is very insignificant to the grand scale of things.
Yep.
But they will not do it. Now, tell him you have a couple of girls in your place that he should come over. He would be there faster than a transplant recipient truck or organ donor truck. You know those trucks that carry organs and someone just crashed and they took the organ. They have to run it to the other hospital to deliver it before, because someone needs it before the organ is considered like null and useless. They will show up faster than that truck. I'm telling you this based on experience. I had a friend, the one that told me that, the house is not an investment and the marriage is useless. Well, he's married though. So when we have a culture in Nigeria, elders, when they come around, they always give money to kids, just to motivate them to be more. Because my culture, I'm Igbo. We have a culture that learn one, teach one. Like, if you come up, pull somebody else up. And one of the ways we think pulling somebody up is by offering them money to have something in their pocket to motivate them that whatever it is they're dreaming of is within reach. So when I go to birthday parties, I never buy presents. I used to do all that sucker shit back in the day until I realized, what am I doing this stupid shit for? Why would I buy this guy? I don't know this person like that. I don't know what they want. The last time I know they needed a Chelsea boot, maybe they bought it already. Why would I go get them another Chelsea boot? Why don't I just give them money, which is the universal gift, and they can go buy whatever they want? Why am I trying to live life like we still use calories and, we trade and batter and stuff like that? You know what I mean? So everywhere I show up, I just give them the ultimate, universal accepted means of exchange. I give them cash. Here, go buy what you need. You know what I mean? And I think everybody should be like that. So this guy had a property he bought a long time ago. What happened in 2008 happened. Not much appreciation he saw from the property. You know how people buy land? Oh, in 5 years it's gonna be $1 million. In 2 years you're gonna 5x your money, or it's gonna appreciate by 30%. He never saw none of that.
Not nowadays.
He never saw none of that. So he got into a financial pickle, sold the piece of land, took all the money. Guess where he put it? Fisker, comma. He put that fucking money in Fisker. I don't need to tell you what happened to Fisker.
Oh no, I know exactly what happened. The sad part is you got
and you know what I told this fucker? I told this fucker, hey, I'm running a very profitable business that has very positive cash flow. Let's take it all the way and turn it into a car dealership. We don't have to employ people. I would do the work. I would move out of my place. I would live in the car dealership to make sure your investment pays off. Oh, I'm going to think about it. You need to come so that we talk in person. And when I show up to talk in person, he doesn't want to move the conversation any forward. He's talking in circles and stuff like that. And eventually, I just thought to myself, I'm like, what is this guy's agenda really? I came to a conclusion. In order not to be sinister, I said he's just full of fear. He's afraid. So I just pushed the agenda myself. And then for a moment, he called me back when he saw that the business was beginning to take off. I went from having 1 car to having 7 cars. He's like, hey, can we sit down and talk? Well, buy me 1 car. So I bought him a car for him to put and see for himself, do his own little experiment. Right before the car was done, he was like, you know what? I don't trust, this business. I don't like to venture into what I don't know. I like to. Boom. Now he ends up the car sitting on his driveway doing nothing. And you know what that lesson taught me? You would remain the same person you are, if not for the books you read, the people you interact with, and the places you go.
Yep.
You know what I mean? He has not grown. And now, I remember the last time I talked to him, he was very sentimental and, gave me this heartfelt conversation about how the place where he works now, the money's not what it used to be anymore. Obama law changed everything. Obamacare. He doesn't make the kind of money he used to make anymore. There was a time he used to make a shitload of money. I think he used to make in excess of $100,000, $150,000, $200,000. He doesn't make that kind of money anymore. He used to export stuff to Nigeria. That's close to, because Naira has run away inflation. It used to be 400 Naira to $1, $1 to 400 Naira. Now it's $1 to 1,700. So it's almost 4 times. You see? So, what is the other side of that story? At the point that he had this full circle thought about things, I've moved on. I've gone past the 7 cars. I kept growing. And I sat down and thought to myself for a second, what is the benefit of bringing this guy into this business with such an unsettling mindset that he has, flip-flop, very fluid, change at any moment? I say it's not in my benefit to do any kind of stuff with this guy, because it could crumble at any moment. So I just said, let me stick it out myself. I'm going to grow very slowly, but I'm going to learn a lot of lessons along the way, and those lessons are going to come with a lot of jewels that I could hold, and I could always replicate this business anywhere in the world because of, I've done it from zero to wherever. You know what I mean? So at that point, I just said, I'll stick it out. He calls me out. I don't call this guy because I've given him so many opportunities so that we could do great things together. We never did.